Hi, my name is Mike Kelly. I'm the Executive Director of the Baltimore Metropolitan Council, and today I'm going to give a little overview and a summary of who we are and what we do for Central Maryland. So who we are, BMC is a nonprofit organization, and our purpose is to work with the elected executive officials of the Baltimore region to create initiatives that improve the quality of life and economic vitality of Greater Baltimore. As an agency, we were created by the Maryland Code, and you can see on this slide exactly what our purposes are. But at the heart of it, our job is to work with Baltimore City and surrounding jurisdictions on any number of projects and programs that can make the Baltimore region a better place to be. One of the big things we do at BMC, if not the biggest, is to act as the host of our region's Metropolitan Planning Organization. Metropolitan Planning Organizations, or MPOs, are federally created bodies that help metropolitan areas like ours program and spend their share of federal transportation dollars. These are federally regulated official bodies that have members including local elected officials, representatives of state agencies, and representatives of transit agencies. And in addition to a series of long-range plans, these groups work on regional goals and performance measures, again, transportation funding, and a wide range of projects and studies relating to every aspect of our transportation network. And the MPO for our region is the Baltimore Regional Transportation Board, the BRTB. This is a map of the area that we serve. You can see Baltimore City in the middle, as well as the counties of Carroll, Harford, Howard, Anne Arundel, and even Queen Anne's County on the other side of the bay. That's currently the set of jurisdictions that makes up our planning area. On the whole, the group is about 2.8 million people. We include any number of employment centers and everything from the most rural of farmlands to downtown Baltimore. Our board of directors is largely defined by who the elected officials, the elected executive officials in these places are. You can see we have county executives from Anne Arundel, Baltimore, Harford County, and Howard County. We have commissioners from Carroll and Queen Anne's. We have the mayor of Baltimore City. And then the governor has an appointee from the private sector, and the Speaker of the House and the Senate President have appointees as well. In terms of what we do, we touch a lot of policy areas in the planning work that we do. On the left here, you can see a blue box for the BRTB. Again, that's the Transportation Planning Board, the Metropolitan Planning Organization. And all those boxes along the bottom are things that the BRTB does. Congestion management, environmental planning. We work on freight planning, all of the trucks and trains that move through us. Geographic information systems, GIS, our mapping. Long-range planning. We have a key public involvement role, which you're being a part of right now by listening to this. Safety planning and analysis, bicycle and pedestrian coordination, and pretty complex traffic modeling that helps not only BMC, but agencies across the state plan for our transportation planning. We also have a group that does cooperative purchasing. Our jurisdictions come together to buy everything from road salt to electricity. We have community planning groups that work on housing, especially affordable and fair housing issues, workforce development, and building permits across the region. We have a very active emergency planning group that works with first responders in each of our jurisdictions to develop plans and strategies to deal with a range of potential challenges and threats. And then we have a group that works on reservoir protection that takes a look at the quality of water going into our reservoir system, as well as the quality of water coming out to make sure that the users of that system have safe and clean water to drink. I'm going to run through a couple slides that give examples of some of the work that we do. This is just a slice of it. This slide shows a little bit of our labor market and workforce development analysis. With labor market analysis, we look at all the jobs in the region. And one thing we've done in a family supporting jobs report that was released in 2018 is identify family supporting jobs. And this report looks at every occupation in the region that pays $22.18 an hour to someone with less than a bachelor's degree. And our focus with this effort are to identify the jobs that can really be the difference between living above or below the poverty line in our jurisdictions. We also do a semi-regular survey of barriers to employment. We reach out to job seekers around the region to try and identify the challenges that they face in seeking employment. And then we develop what's known as career pathways plans. These are charts and tables that sort of show the upward mobility in a various industry from entry-level jobs to senior jobs that can help our job seekers identify the roles that they want to fill, as well as the training and experience that they need to get to those jobs. Regional Catastrophic Preparedness is a program that our emergency planning group works on. We were lucky enough to receive 2 large federal grants in FY19 and FY20 to develop plans for what we would do in the event of a food and water shortage, or in the event that we needed emergency housing due to a weather event or some other disaster. And these are the kind of things that the first responders in our region come together to work on, so that when the unexpected happens, we have plans in place and we have strategies in place to help everybody get through it together. No matter where the emergency is, all of our jurisdictions are prepared and committed to work together to get through it as a team. With fair housing, most of our jurisdictions are required to develop a plan called an analysis of impediments to fair housing choice. That's a complicated title. It's one that is mandated by the federal government. But what it really means is that our jurisdictions have to do a self-assessment to identify the barriers to fair and supportive housing. What's keeping people from living in communities of choice and living in communities of opportunities. Our region is one of the few metropolitan areas in the country that has agreed to cooperatively do this together. So it's not each jurisdiction for themselves. And then they've come together to develop regional action steps. We have a project-based voucher program that helps us develop affordable housing in the right communities. We advocate for low-income housing tax credits to go to projects in our regions. These are the tax credits that make affordable housing possible. We work with our jurisdictions to make sure that they're properly trained in how to enforce and implement fair housing law. And we work with lenders. We work with mortgage companies and banks to make sure that they're appropriately recognizing and dealing with the well-publicized racial disparities in mortgage lending. Our Cooperative Purchasing Group, referred to as BRICPAC, the Baltimore Regional Cooperative Purchasing Committee, does 2 things. They look at regional contracting opportunities, places where jurisdictions can join together on a specific contract to get the best price. And they also look to leverage the full buying power of our jurisdictions. If you think about our local governments, they're all like large corporations with the amount that they need to buy. And there are certain times that when they band together, they can really drive the price of a commodity down to the benefit of taxpayers. And the best example of how we've done this is through our energy purchasing. Our jurisdictions since 2005 have purchased all or most of their electricity and natural gas together through a group called our Energy Board. Cooperatively, they are BG&E's largest customer. And together they negotiate rates that are lower than what the average purchaser has to pay. In FY21, the last year we have figures for, Baltimore City saved $1.8 million through this program. And as a region, we saved $10.2 million. Since the program began, Baltimore City has saved over $31 million. And as a region, we have saved $184 million. And this is taxpayer money that's able to go to other programs and services. So it's a program we're really proud of. It's a relatively small, quiet part of what we do, but it's a really significant step and a good demonstration that regional cooperation can have great benefits for everybody in the region. So that is a very quick overview of what we do. Thank you for your interest in BMC, and thank you for joining me here virtually today.